Connecting the SWAC, the MEAC, SIAC, and the CIAA. The HBCU experience lives here. It's the HBCU Report with Bob Calloway.
This is the HBCU Report, being heard via Spreaker.com. We can now be heard via iTunes and Google Play as well. We are powered by sportsnewsandbrews.com. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. However you may be listening, know that we really appreciate you guys, for tuning in each and every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock for you guys on Central Time for all my folks out of Alabama. Appreciate you guys. Sports News and Brews, your source for sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. Log on to sportsnewsandbrews.com right now for the latest. Now, on last week's show, we were joined by Virginia State University head football coach Reggie Barlow, North Carolina A&T's Rod Broadway, Tuskegee defensive coordinator Joseph Carter, and Grambling State's Broderick Fobbs. All of those guys joined the show, gave us some great insight. You can go back and listen to those shows in their entirety, or listen to the show in its entirety via Spreaker, iTunes, or Google Play. Know you guys hear that Shawty Low I'm bumping right there. This week we lost a great one, an Atlanta rap legend as they call him. Shawty Low passed away at the young age of 40, if I'm not mistaken, involved in a single car accident, and just unbelievable. That a guy with so much talent is no longer with us. I mean, they put on for those of you not in Atlanta, which is where this show originates from. Oh man, they were down on Bankhead on the west side in his neighborhood, right there in the parking lot of his studio, and man, they put on. Boy, they put on for all day, all night. But Shawty Low definitely will be missed. All right. So last week we had some great games. And one in particular, Florida A&M and Tuskegee, hooked up for the first time in 20 years. The last time these two teams hooked up, I was a freshman at Alabama State University, 1996. They called this one the Fifth Quarter Classic, and it was worth the money from everything that I'm hearing. Tuskegee, 13th ranked Tuskegee, actually scored with 2 minutes left in the game to win 2017 over Florida A&M, who, of course, is a FCS representative, a MEAC representative, Tuskegee, out of the Division II rank. So, once again, we have another Division II team knocking off a higher-ranking competitor, if you will. Also, man, some sad news for those of you that follow Tennessee State football. We had Coach Rod Reed on about 2 weeks ago, and he was talking highly about his quarterback, O'Shea Ackerman-Carter, big-time quarterback. He left last weekend's game against Bethune-Cookman with an extremity injury, and he's scheduled to miss the remainder of the season. Now, the school and the NCAA are trying to come up with a hardship for the young man so that he will be able to retain this year of eligibility. But, yeah, nonetheless, it hurts when your starting quarterback goes down, especially when you have such high hopes for him. About to call him Tuskegee. Tennessee State currently 3-0 on the season after knocking off Bethune-Cookman 31-24. And you know what? That just goes back to what I was saying a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Tennessee State possibly being like the Notre Dame in this whole Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl thing, SWAC, MEAC. Notre Dame, football, they're independent. They are part of the ACC, but in football, they're independent, and all they have to do is run the table to get an invitation into the college football playoff. And so a couple of weeks ago, if you missed the show, I was saying the same thing about Tennessee State because they play in the Ohio Valley Conference, true. But they are an HBCU, okay? And their record against HBCUs, I think at this point, going back to, I think I did 2012 when we talked about it. So up to now, after last weekend's victory over Bethune-Cookman, they're like 17-3 versus HBCU competition. So I think the conversation has to be there. Next week, John Grant is going to join the show, the executive director of the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. And I'm just going to bring it up because, it's a shame. And they're talking about they want the best football, but season in and season out, when you talk about HBCU football programs, the best football has been played up in Nashville from Tennessee State, who has to see very tough competition in that Ohio Valley Conference. And so we're definitely going to put that out there when we talk with Mr. John Grant next week. Also, Reggie Barlow, as I mentioned, joined the show. His Virginia State Union Trojans are now 3-0 after knocking off Kentucky State 20-7 at Alumni Stadium up in Frankfort, Kentucky. So big shouts out to Reggie Barlow. And finally, Rod Broadway joined the show from North Carolina A&T after their huge upset victory, 4-overtime victory over Kent State. They were right back in action against another FBS opponent last week, and things didn't go as well. 58-21 was your final score versus Tulsa. So, but again, they still rank at the top of most of the HBCU football polls. So big shouts out to Rod Broadway and those North Carolina A&T Aggies. So coming up, we have another jam-packed lineup featuring the coaches from this week's HBCU Report Game of the Week. Yes, we have that now. Miles College head coach Reginald Ruffin and Morehouse's Rich Freeman will join the show. But coming up first, we will talk a little SU football, Southern University football, with their head coach, Dawson Odums. He's set to join the show. This is the HBCU Report being heard via Spreaker.com. And now we can be heard via iTunes and also Google Play. We're powered by SportsNewsAndBrews.com, your source for sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. Log on to SportsNewsAndBrews.com right now. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HBCU Report. I'm Rob Calloway. This is the HBCU Report, and we will be right back after these words.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
HBCU sports fans, you finally have a voice. The HBCU experience lives here. This is the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
This is the HBCU Report, and we are back at it. I've been promoting this thing as like the fourth season of the HBCU Report, but after doing some math, I was doing some research, going back, looking to see what was the first air date of the HBCU Report. And actually, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the fifth season of the HBCU Report. So I just like to correct myself. For the past few weeks, oh yeah, this is the fourth season of the HBCU Report. Yeah, we're big and better than ever. Well, guess what? I was lying to myself. This is the fifth season of the HBCU Report, being heard via Spreaker.com. You can also hear the show now via Google Play and iTunes. So we're definitely advancing and trying to make this a platform for you to be able to hear it everywhere. And we are powered by SportsNewsAndBrews.com, the most awesome website ever. Maybe, depends on who you ask. But coming up today, we have a great SWAC matchup between Alabama A&M, Southern University, Lewis Crews Stadium, Huntsville, Alabama, 6 o'clock kickoff. And right now we're being joined by a very good friend of the show, Dawson Odums, head football coach of the Southern University Jaguars. Man, broke my heart last weekend, that 64-6 win over Bama State. But nonetheless, Coach Odums, welcome back to the HBCU Report.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
All right, not a problem, man. So last week, you guys hosted Bama State in what turned out to be a 64-6 blowout win for the Jaguars. Briefly take us through the highs and lows of the game where it seems like, well, seemingly everything went your way.
Well, not really. I really thought in the beginning, they took the opening drive and drove it right down the field. They got to about I say about 27-yard line, and they had a fumble. We recovered it, and 2 or 3 plays later, we hit Willie Quinn on a big passing play to start the scoring, and it was 7-0. We come right back. Next drive, 3 and out or something, and they punt the ball, and boom, it's touchdown again. It's 14-0. And that's sort of how the game went. And we was in the previous battle the week before with Tulane and went the opposite. Where you get off to a fast start, but we had 6 turnovers created by our defense, so you're going to win those games most of the time if you can generate 6 turnovers. But the good thing was we turned those turnovers into points. And I thought our guys did a great job of turning turnovers into points. And that's sort of how the game got out of hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Bama State's worst loss in 54 years. So that was a major accomplishment for the Jaguars. And I was talking to you earlier, you kind of hurt all the Hornets' feelings, including myself. But I know it's a game. And the game, somebody has to lose, somebody has to win. But you mentioned Willie Quinn. Now, a few days ago, the Undefeated.com spotlighted what many call the spark plug for this team, your wide receiver return specialist, Willie Quinn, who this past weekend racked up 320 all-purpose yards in you all's big win versus Bama State. As someone that works with this young man every day, what are your thoughts on him, and would you consider him to be a next-level talent?
Well, my thoughts on him is that every day he comes to work, and that's our football team, man. Here's what people don't really understand about our football program. We follow the process. Whether it's Willie or whether it's anybody else, it's come to work, control the things that you can. And a lot of things that we can't control, so why spend our time worried about them? They really affect our day-to-day operations. They really affect us, but it's up to you if you let how much it affects you. And Willie comes to work every day, regardless of what we're facing, or regardless what they're going through outside of Southern or the football program. When they're here, they focus on football. And that's what we talk about, being in the process. And that's focusing on what's in front of you right now. And these guys are able to do that. Can he play at the next level? Sure, he can play at the next level. Somebody give him an opportunity. Don't look at 5-5. Look at getting him the football and what he do when he get it in his hands. He just needs an opportunity. And somebody's going to give him an opportunity. As long as he stay healthy this year and continue to put up the numbers that he's putting up and continue to get better on the field and off the field as a person, everything else will work itself out. I mean, he has great character. He don't say a whole lot of words. But like I told him, you have to present yourself as a pro now so that when you become a pro, you'll know how to be one.
Absolutely. This is the HBCU Report. Rob Calloway on the line right now with Dawson Odums. He is the head football coach of the Southern University Jaguars. They're in action this weekend, Saturday, Huntsville at Lewis Crew Stadium versus Alabama A&M. Now, your running back, Leonard Tillery, is a little less than 800 yards away from becoming the all-time rushing leader in SWAC history. At a position where players really get banged up and have nagging injuries. Give us your thoughts on Tillery as a player, and did you ever see this guy, becoming a SWAC legend when he came on campus?
Unbelievable work ethic. I think that's the first thing that stood out. Very intelligent young man. Graduates in December. I think when we had him on scout team his first year, he played as if, my job is to run as hard as I can, even though I'm a scout. And that's how you get better, is maximize your opportunity, taking advantage of the reps that you get, whether you're on scout team or whether you're the starting running back. If you we teach them, don't look at the situation. Never worry about the situation. Your job is to find a solution. And you can't look at the situation and find a solution at the same time. So if you're a scout team player, be the best scout team player you can be, whatever position you at. And that's where it started from. When I realized that this guy doesn't matter if he's on scout team or if he's playing. You just want to run the football and do whatever you got to do to help the team win. Then we knew we had, not only did we have a good football player, but we had a great person.
Now, how much credit does the offensive line deserve for Tillery's success?
I think our offensive line deserves credit for all our offensive success, not just his. I think they deserve credit for the receptions that Willie's able to catch, the passes that Austin's able to throw, and the runs that Tillery's able to get. It all starts with our offensive line. And we have a very good one, and they're well coached and well prepared. And, I'm glad that Coach Berry is on our staff because he's pretty good at what he do. And we've been together for a while, and I think that